All right, we'll call the meeting to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This will.
You okay?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yep. Go ahead and start.
Chairman Schock announced that today's special public meeting was properly advertised in local newspaper. At this time, we'd last ask for citizens' input on agenda items only. Hearing none, at this time, we'd like to recognize Construction Manager Todd Rothmel for report on the following bid openings for Northumberland County Prison.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Last Thursday, we accepted bids for the remaining 7 bid packages for the Northumberland County Jail. In advance of that, we also accepted proposals for the testing services from 4 testing agencies representing Central PA. We had received bids back from Columbia Testing and Services, CMT Labs, Converse Consultants, and Certified Testing Laboratories. So after a review of those proposals, and these are for your structural steel, your geotechnical, your masonry, and it's a third-party inspection service that we usually ask that the owners hire directly, so there's no third-party interests that are being served by any of the contractors. And upon review of those proposals, Columbia Testing Service, happened to be the most, or the cheapest rates provided for the testing services. Testing services are based on a per day or per hour basis, per test basis. What's unique about those proposals is that you also pay thorough reporting. So as those firms leave their facilities, you're on the clock. The other 3 firms, State College and Harrisburg, would have had significant portal expenses added onto their bills. So not only were they higher than Columbia Testing, their portal due to the mileage would have been an increase in additional cost to the county. So for the reasons that, one, Columbia Testing had the lowest hourly rate, the lowest testing rate, and the fact that they're closest to the job, we're recommending that Columbia Testing Service be awarded the independent testing services for the Northumberland County Jail. So we appreciate if a motion to be made that we elect to put them in contract.
Okay. So a motion is needed to award the lowest responsible bidder for material testing and inspection to Columbia Testing Service.
Yes.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay, and I'll second. Motion made and seconded on the question.
How much?
It's based on a per test,
Okay.
per hourly basis. We're estimating that the total expenses that the county would incur probably between $18,000 and $22,000 over the course of the project.
Okay. Anything further on the motion? Okay, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
1 opposed. Motion carries.
Last Thursday, there were 7 additional bid packages that were solicited and bids returned on, and we'll start with the general construction. The general construction is bid package BP-4, and we received 5 bids
A motion is needed to award the lowest responsible bidder for general construction contractor to Lowbar Incorporated at a bid quote of $8,553,500.
So moved.
Okay, I'll make as the second. Motion is made and seconded on the question.
Todd, being that the bids were that close, what does that signify anything to
Well,
us?
the significance of that is such that you can be fairly certain, one, that there wasn't a mistake made. Okay? Oftentimes, there can be a significant delta between a low bidder and maybe the second and third bidders, and then you have two or three that may be a little bit higher. The fact that we've got three contractors that are grouped fairly close together, can lend some certainty to the owner that, there wasn't an error made,
And,
with the one preparing the bid. Lowbar had by contract, 48 hours after the announcement of the results to review their bid and then withdraw if they felt that they had made an error, in the bids. That 48 hours has since passed. They did not withdraw their bid, so that's partly why we're here today. Now, this is all contingent upon the review of proper paperwork, bonds and insurances, all those other pieces of paper.
So then in all three bids, we're sort of not 100% sure, but sure that each one of them looked at everything that would have to be, which hopefully down the road could limit the change order type possibility.
There's some, I guess, on the surface, there's
Right.
an understanding that, with these bids being so close, that, there's a fairly good chance that it would be very unusual that all three guys
Miss something, okay.
So,
And a lot of these bidders came to, you had a pre-bid meeting of the various contractors.
We're all at the pre-bid meeting, yes.
All right.
Third bid was from ECI Construction, $8,687,000. And there's a $9.8 million and a $12.3 million bid.
All right.
Okay. All right, anything further on the question? All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, motion carries with one opposed.
The next bid package that was bid last Thursday was VP6, which was for the prison equipment contract. And this contract is for all of the prison cell doors, all the security systems, all the touch screens, all the cameras, pretty much all the security systems that go into constructing a jail is packaged into one contract and is put out to bid to the prison equipment contractors that are available. Now, the unique part about this contract, did I skip or maybe?
Yeah, I think, I was just looking, I think it was
Number 8,
food
food
services
service.
next. Yep.
Oh, yeah,
VP5.
that's nice.
VP5 is the food service equipment. Food service equipment is all of the equipment that is being installed within the new kitchen that's being constructed inside the existing facility. All your ovens, your walk-in freezers, refrigerators, all your Hobart mixers and items of that nature, including your dishwashing equipment that goes along with food preparation. There were two bids last Thursday for VP5. One was from Todd Devon Food Equipment Incorporated for $447,000 even. And the second one was from a company called 11400 Inc. for $479,900. The estimate for the food service was just over $500,000, so these guys were just a hair under the estimate on the food service. And we have worked with both these firms, and so has Blue Card Orange, so we don't have any issue with those responsible bidder here being Todd Devon. So for that bid, we're asking that the commissioners approve the award to Todd Devon for $447,000.
Okay. Todd Devon, D-E-V.
Yes, Todd Devon Food Equipment Inc.
Devon.
DVIN.
a motion is needed to award the lowest responsible bidder for food service equipment and installation to Todd Devon Food Equipment, Inc. At a bid quote of $447,000.
So moved.
I'll make the second. On the question? Okay, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, one opposed, motion carries.
My apologies, now we're back to DP6, which is the different equipment bid that was accepted last Thursday. This bid package, again, as I mentioned, is a specialty contractor. There are only probably about 30 to 50 of these guys across the United States that do this on an annual basis. The company who is specified in the specifications is a company by the name of Southern Folger. And Southern Folger is pretty much the prison equipment vendor of choice among jails and security facilities. They've been one of the first companies that began to patent prison equipment products, and they've been around for over 100 years. And as a result, a lot of architects and professionals specify their equipment because it's proven to be, if you will, the basis for what all the other competition design their equipment around. So, in this case, Southern Folger was the preferred manufacturer, although there were other manufacturers listed in the specifications. Southern Folger was the one that we were hoping to end up with a bid. Now, for reasons we can't explain, we only did receive one bid on the prison equipment products. And that bid was from Southern Folger. So the company name is Southern Folger Detention Equipment Company.
I'm sorry, Southern Folger what?
Southern Folger
Detention equipment.
Equipment Company. Their bid was $3,580,800. Their bid was, we had a budget in our estimate of $3.2 million, so they're slightly above the estimate. Although they are the manufacturer of choice, we don't know at this time whether there's any issues that would have given rise to why it was over our estimate. But the difference of less than 300 grand over puts it at less than 10%. And so the other element that could happen is we could rebid this package. And when you do that, one of two things happens. You can either get a lower price, you can always get a higher price as well. The other thing that it does, it will create a delay in finishing the prison because we will need another 30 days to advertise, receive these, and then award the Southern Folger award to the next lowest responsible bidder. Based on the fact that it is the company that we would prefer to use to provide the equipment, and I know the warden likes their equipment as well, we would like to recommend that the county go ahead and make this award to Southern Folger. Again, subject to reviewing the paperwork and having some discussion with them about maybe some potential cost savings and some other ideas that we might have. It's just shading the feet on it, but at the moment, we can at least begin discussion based on action. Their action is decline the bid, and we will put it back up if we so desire.
And just the number, it was $3,580,000. Okay, yeah.
3,580,800.
Oh, 8, and then 800. Okay, that's a,
$800.
all right. Okay. Motion is needed to award the lowest responsible bidder for prison equipment contractor to Southern Folger at a bid quote of $3,580,800.
So moved.
Okay, I'll make the second. On the question?
Todd, let me just ask, all these bids we're talking about today are contingent on you guys checking them out, making sure they're reliable, making sure, which I know some of you did already, but once these are passed, we would still be making sure everything is okay with them.
As part of their bids that we received last Thursday, they had a non-collusion affidavit, a 10% bid bond, a resume, a contractor qualification form, and there's several other pieces of paper that they submitted electronically. We are in the process of reviewing that documentation to make sure it's all been submitted and it's appropriate. In the event that we find that the contractor did not do something proper, we would come back to the board,
Okay.
right, and advise you of irregularity or a problem. But at this point, the initial reviews are that, one, they've submitted all the proper paperwork, the bids have been executed, at least the offers have been executed, and the bid bonds have been submitted with the bid. So at this point, we're comfortable in at least addressing the lowest responsible bidder to the board upon further evaluation of those documents.
Okay.
Okay. Anything further on the question? Okay, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Definitely opposed.
Okay, one opposed, motion carries. Oh, and Todd, just as an afterthought, this is the Southern Folger contract. They are the ones who, I mean, that's the equipment for the cell, locking the cell doors, all that type of thing, because,
That's your cameras.
Yeah.
That's your card readers, that's your prison equipment touchscreens, that's all your jail cell controls, your sally port doors, all of the electronic buttons that the warden will be pressing to open cell, close cells. It's in essence the entire security system of the jail institution.
okay. So, and to the extent that there was an underestimation, frankly, if we would have used if we would have gone with the original plan with the cell tech site, there was more cell doors, more, all of those things, it would have exacerbated it, I guess.
Jail is about 28% less than what you had down at Cemetery. So, the delta then, based on the results last Thursday, would probably have been slightly more down at Cemetex. Okay, again, we have not had any discussions with these contractors yet, but we will vet them to find out why the difference, what the difference was, you know, and maybe material price increases, we're not sure. Okay, but we will definitely take a look at that in the process of executing contracts.
Okay, thank you.
Next bid would be the sprinkler contractor, fire protection contractor. This is bid package BP7. There were two bids received on the sprinkler contracts. S.A. Communale, C-O-M-U-N-A-L-E, submitted the lowest responsible bid at $314,358.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that one?
314.
314.
358. The second bid
Okay.
is VFP Fire Systems Inc. and they were at $569,800. We called Continental last Friday just to make sure that they were comfortable with their bid. Again, they all have 48 hours to withdraw, and they were comfortable with the bid. They were actually about 20% under our estimate. We've worked with them on prior projects before. They are a national company, right? Not just a central PA. They work throughout the United States, many regional branches. And so actually we were very pleased when we saw that they were the lowest responsible bidder. And so I don't have any reservations whatsoever to award them to this account. So we're asking the board to motion
Motion is needed to award the lowest responsible bidder for sprinkler contractor to SA Communal at a bid quote of $314,358.
So moved.
And I'll make a second on the question. Okay, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, one opposed, motion carries.
The next bid that was received last Thursday was for the plumbing construction. And we received 4 bids for the plumbing construction. Silver Tip Incorporated was the lowest responsible bid, and they were at $1,170,000, 1170000. J.R. Reynolds was the second bid at $1,269,000. LTS Plumbing and Heating $1,004,000, and Morgan Company $1,006,000. So Silver Tip also bid the mechanical, and we'll talk about that next, but they are a contractor out of the central part of the state, a little bit further west than where we are right now. Very respectful contractor, does a lot of public works. We've got no concern whatsoever with Silver Tip. In fact, we're happy they've got a job, they have enough resources, because part of their requirement for this contract is within 30 days, all of the underground plumbing work be completed within the Section C addition, so we don't have any real reservation about their manpower, their ability to procure the equipment and materials necessary to get that work done. So based on that, and the fact that they've submitted the proper paperwork so far, I'm asking for the board to approve the contract to Silver Tip in the amount of $1,170,000.
Motion is needed to award the lowest responsible bidder for plumbing contractor to Silver Tip Incorporated. Is that correct?
Yes.
At a bid quote of $1,170,000.
So moved.
I'll make the second on the question. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed.
Any opposed? One opposed, motion carries.
The second to last bid that we took last Thursday was for the mechanical construction. We got a total of 8 contractors who did the mechanical work. The lowest bidder was the Hostler Corporation out of Wilkes-Barre. Their offer was $1,509,000, 1,509,000. Silver Tip was second on this bid, they were $1,540,000, and then it goes up from there, the highest bid being 2.1. So in this case, we had 8 bidders, very good coverage. And Hostler Corporation is one contractor that we are unfamiliar with. The architectural firm Blue Carter Horn near Alexander has worked with them. They are, as I said, out of Wilkes-Barre. We did review their resume or their contractor qualifications. Initially, there aren't any concerns on there, it's just we have to call and get some references based on the project that they listed. And they have projects in the $1 to $2 million range, so there's no genuine concern about the value of the contract versus what they've done in the past. We just want to call and get some references on their performance. Before we make an offer to contract with them, and so long as it's come back perfectly, we don't see any reason not to move forward with this motion to the board based on some further qualifications. So now we a better business review and some other information about the lawsuits and their
Okay.
citations. So the fact that those bids again are very close, we would make the recommendation that preliminarily we would extend it to Hostler based on the review qualifications.
Okay. Motion is needed to award the lowest responsible bidder for mechanical contractor to Hostler Corporation at a bid quote of $1,509,000.
So moved.
Seconded. On the question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? One opposed, motion carries.
The this is, I think over 40 years, and we've got to work, I guess, in the east portion of the state. So, their qualifications were more than adequate for this last project. We've been on contracts in excess of $10 million. So this is not by any means out of reach for them. But we just wanted to just confirm if they had any concerns with their bid, and they did not. So for that reason, we're looking for the board to make a motion to award the electrical construction to GR Noto, $1,868,000.
Okay. Motion is needed to award the lowest responsible bidder for electrical contractor to GR Noto at a bid quote of $1,868,000.
So moved.
Second, on the question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And one opposed. Motion carries.
So that was the last of the construction of contracts. And so I'd like to just summarize, this is the third meeting that we've been here for award contracts. And the sum of all 10 of the contracts for the construction is $22,079,657. And that is about $500,000 over the estimate that we had prepared back in February for construction of the jail. 300,000 of that is the prison equipment, the other 200 is space equipment. We also had, there were some that were under budget as well. So that's the overall summary of what the contracts that should be awarded by the county tally. And within those contracts, there are some allowances set aside for some contingencies in the amount of $140,000 among those contracts that if that money is not spent on construction, we return to the county at the conclusion of the project. So that is the basis for contracts. There won't be any other bid. At this point, everything's been bid out. And at this point, on issuance of notice shortly hereafter, we should get them bid all good.
Okay.
So, Todd, so in those bids that we're receiving, we have built in a contingency already so that if that money wasn't used, it would be money brought back to the sum of $140,000. So, and also, we have been negotiating with the food service, people interested in the food service bidding, where we have talked to them about, since they'll be using our kitchen, brand new, that's coming in. I think the warden informed me that one of them has offered us a payback of $250,000 towards the kitchen supply, kitchen, ovens and things that could also defray that cost if we would go with a food service company that would do that. So those are two other things we've been working on to try to get this down as far as we possibly can. I just would like to, if we can't take this time, I know we're not, we're at a point giving all these contracts out, but I just want to recognize Todd, Buchard Horn, Timmy Heitzman, the warden, Kevin, Chris, Steve, Mary Rose. We've been meeting, I guess, almost for a year on just this project. And we met numerous times, and we had a lot of discussions, and we had to make some changes, and we had to do things, but we finally got to a point where we're ready to go, very close to where we thought we would be on budget. And I just want to thank all of them, not that the work's over, but for the hard work and making all the meetings and being there and making suggestions. It's been a long, long road, and now we're ready to begin. Steve, I mentioned you, didn't I? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't want to miss you. Okay.
And I'd like to thank all the parties, again, who attended as well and have been part of this project. I think that, we did some rough numbers earlier regarding the total overall project cost compared to the project that we walked away from, which was down at Celotex. And I think even adding in the money that had been invested into that site, you're still looking at, and it was, I think, still coming out at about 13 million less than the numbers that had been put out regarding that site. And that doesn't take into account the exponentially larger, actual contract price on the controls. Because of that, it also, I think, did not take into account when we did that the borrowing savings due to the fact that we will be borrowing less for this project. So when you factor all of that in, you're somewhere between $13–14 million in savings, which is what this was. That's what drove this decision. So
you're saying that the 22 million plus the 8 million spent on Celotex plus the additional year, and I think you make about, is it 50 a month, your crew? 42,000 a month for an extra year, plus Blue Cart Horn, plus farming all of our people out to various counties. You're saying that we're $13 million under budget. Is that what you're saying?
not under budget, under what we would have paid there.
We would have paid,
Yeah,
right?
had
but
we gone with the
excluding
Celotex
that
site.
We already did pay $8 million, excluding
No, that includes the
we're
eight, that does
over.
include, it includes those things, it includes the 8 million, yes, it does.
Okay, so if 22 million plus 8 million, that's what you're saying is the number. And you're saying that if you add those two together, we're still 13 million under budget.
Well, I'm not gonna go off of your numbers, because you've put out numbers
No,
you've
that,
now walked
this
away
is
from, but,
numbers that
well,
Todd
you're
just
the one who
used.
threw out
Actually,
the
I'm
8.
giving you 80,000 plus. I'm just saying 22
Okay,
million.
your own numbers were, I think it was 47 or 48 million that you threw out. Those were your numbers that you came up with on your own. You didn't rely on
Todd said
Blue
that the
Card or
10
anyone else.
contracts were going to be over 22 million, okay? 8 million was spent on Celotex. So if you add those two together, you're saying that we are now, we're running $13 million less than that to build this prison. Is that what you're saying?
13 million less than what those totals are? No, 13 million less than the number that was put out for the Celotex site.
Okay. But not what money was actually spent and will be spent.
Yes, what money was
Because we're going to
spent
spend,
and what was
by Todd's estimates on these commitments, over 22 million. We're going to spend that, okay? Another 8 million was spent on Celotex that we walked away from.
What was it? What are your numbers on Celotex?
22, the numbers on the jail as it stands now is 22 million for 7 months. For the production of contracts only on Celotex was between 32 to 34 million dollars. So there's a delta just in
On the contracts.
the contracts.
Right.
Not privy
Right.
to everything else, right? So it's just on the delta of the contracts, yes, there's $10 million plus.
Right. So not what we spent on Celotex, not the year's delay, not on your salary, not on Blue Cart Horns.
Not knowing what would have happened at Celotex when we started to dig and what was under
Just
there
wanna be
because we
clear.
had a.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going off of your numbers that you put out on one of your videos, the 48, I think it was 47 or 48 million.
46
which
to
was,
7,
yeah,
$47 million was the projected cost at the time when we stopped all construction
That's not-
contracts.
That's very misleading.
No, it
That
isn't, because
was-
I have an email that it says that.
That was the
I-
cost if we were going to change the original plans for the prison and go with a more expensive floor plan. That was not the original cost of Celotex. The original cost of Celotex is still in a document that is in our office. That's not
The original cost in an email I got was going to be around 46 million for the Celotex being constructed. And and in that email, I think it was also said all bids should be stopped,
That was after we had added a wing, we added more cells. You know, we talked about Project D, I think it was. It wasn't Project A's bid expectations. I can tell you that because that was between 27 million and 32 million. That's what that was when the last board was here. That's what the document says.
Okay, Again, I'm just going off the numbers you put out, so. Is there any old business come before the board? Any new business? Any public input? Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.